In 1859, a well-known British naturalist named Charles Robert Darwin published what became known as the theory of evolution in his book entitled On the Origin of Species. Darwin's publication greatly contributed to the decline of Christianity in Europe, as famed Christian preachers such as Charles Spurgeon struggled to convince their audience that creationism is true. Biblical creationism is largely excluded in Western education system today and is a subject of mockery. Evolution is taught as a fact, but is it? Greetings, salut, hola, and lafia. Welcome to Biblio-History, a hub for seeing biblical truth in history, geography, and anthropology. The subject of this video is why evolution is a lie and creationism is true. Without further ado, let's get started. Proponents of the theory of evolution typically embrace the Big Bang Theory and do not believe in a personable creator of all things. Thus, in an attempt to cohere their preconceived bias that the world came about as a result of time plus matter plus chance, they advance the notion that organisms develop over time and the human race was eventually born. There is a disagreement as to which aquatic or terrestrial being is the forefather of humans. Most credit primates, while others say man came from a fish or a tadpole. Common sense, however, dictates that complex things that pale in comparison to the intricate makeup of humans have a designer. Books, cars, planes, buildings, and other forms of infrastructure did not and do not come about as a result of evolution, but rather the design of man. Bearing the same logic in mind, creationism in the Bible credits the all-knowing, all-powerful, timeless, personable God for the creation of man. The attributes of God suggest that it takes a lot more faith to believe in the theory of evolution than creationism. One interesting fact about evolutionists is that their claims revolve around the notion that living things evolve over time. This presumption is problematic, however. If the claim is indeed true, then trees, animals, and people should still evolve today. In actuality, however, things, animals, and people tend to decay over time, as they all come to the state of non-existence called death. Further, this assumption requires an intelligent designer who can decide exactly when to stop the evolutionary stage of trees, animals, and people. Creationism proves true because man, animals, and trees tend to remain in their natural state. Despite widespread misconception, evolution is a theory, not a fact. Most Western education systems teach evolution as a fact, not a theory, which literally means a supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something. Biblical creationism is never presented as a theory, but rather a fact. It is alarming that biblical creationism is shunned in schools and not even considered as a theory. The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9 says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" In light of this passage, it is tragic that man chooses to have faith in what fallible mortal men like Darwin say about his origin, rather than the words of Almighty God. Could it be possible that Satan deceived and continues to deceive humanity through Darwin? The moral implications of the theory of evolution are usually neglected, and atheistic evolutionists often struggle to theorize about the origin of objective morality as they face a dilemma. On the one hand, if they claim that the universe and man came about as a result of an unguided process, then morality is subjective and there is no such thing as objective morality. In other words, there is no ground to say that murder, rape, theft, adultery, etc. are wrong. On the other hand, if atheistic scientists admit that there is objective morality, then man is more than an unguided evolved being. Any honest and frank human being would admit that there tends to be a written moral code in his or her DNA. Apostle Paul speaks of this in the book of Romans chapter 2, verse 14 to 15. "For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, which shew the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the mean, while accusing or as excusing one another." Have you ever asked yourself why human life is considered sacred? Murder is wrong, and infidelity is unethical in virtually all cultures. You should consider that perhaps there is more to morality than cultural and societal preferences, norms, and virtues. Due to human nature that is naturally biased, atheistic scientists claim that creationism is illogical and incoherent, but the theory of evolution is logical and coherent. A close examination of the theory of evolution, however, reveals that it is incoherent. For example, there is no definite timeline for evolution besides the assumption that it occurred over millions of years. There is a disagreement as to which organism is responsible for bringing about the human race. Objective morality exists, yet there is no objective moral lawgiver. Unguided evolution is true, yet humans, trees, and animals have at large ceased to evolve. Thank you for watching, and never forget that you are created in the image of a personable, loving God. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next Friday for another video. And remember, Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven.